been dreaming all night, bringing me some inspiration. Never meant to love no one, but baby, I saw you for a second and I'm happy that you came my way. Don't wanna waste no time without you ever brightening up my days.
Hey everyone, it's Natalie. Welcome back to the second video in this clean and declutter before Thanksgiving motivational video series. I'm super excited to continue this. We did the kitchen in the last video, so if you haven't already seen that, I'll link it down below. Go check it out. We did lots of good deep cleaning. I learned some things for sure. But today we're gonna be moving into the dining room and the living room. So there's quite a few tasks in here, though not as many as the kitchen. So I feel confident that we'll be able to combine the two rooms. They are actually really similar. The main difference being that in one room we have a table and in one room we probably have like a couch and some furniture. So we're gonna do a lot of dusting, we're gonna clean baseboards, we're gonna vacuum, we're gonna clean windows, all of that. And I've got these great lists for you guys. They are also in the description box. Oh, sorry, hard for me to hold. I finally have them nice and cute. Look at that. So I've got my dining room list up because that's where I'm gonna start today. You'll also see I'm going to be undecorating from Halloween. Today is actually November 1st, so I'm gonna get all of that stuff cleared out first, start cleaning top to bottom, and then we'll move on to the living room. So I don't think we should wait any longer. Let's just get started. The first thing I do when I'm about to start a long cleaning session is open up the blinds to let in some natural light. Today the weather was nice enough to crack the windows, so I let in some fresh air too.
Never meant to love no one.
The first thing I'm going to do off the list is to dust this light fixture. Now, if I've learned anything about dusting, it's to start from the top and work your way to the bottom. That way, when you dust off something that's up high, you won't ruin anything that you've cleaned down below. I'm using a Swiffer to dust this light fixture. Somehow I only have the fluffy part and not the handle anymore. Now, if you're really good, you might want to unscrew the light bulbs and take these fixtures off to dump out any bugs that have died in them. Those little creatures love to come to the light and then just meet their demise. Now, while I have the step stool and the duster out, I'm gonna go ahead and make my way around all of the artwork in the room. All of these things so far are easy 5-minute tasks to knock off the list.
You always find a small excuse to leave. What's your excuse to make me cry? My love was lost when you came and took it all.
I have something to admit. I have never ever, not once, cleaned our window panes or window sills since we moved in 2 years ago. Never. It's bad. I'll show you what it looks like right here. Of course, we have like dirt and bugs and dust and the blinds need dusting. Anyway, I don't have the perfect tools today, but I am gonna do my best to make it a whole lot better. So what I've got here is I have a ton of microfiber cloths. My guess is that between every room throughout this decluttering and deep cleaning series, I'm gonna be using all these microfiber cloths on the windows, washing them and getting them ready for the next room. I also just got this cool tool off of Amazon. It's like you put it in between the blinds and then squeeze it and you can get some of the dust off that way. So I'm gonna be starting on the blinds with that. I also have rubbing alcohol because that's what I use to clean glass. It works really, really well. And then I've got a little handheld vacuum. Again, I don't have the perfect tools. I don't have a brush with my vacuum. I hope to get a vacuum for myself for Christmas, we'll see. And then my last thing, my solution I'm gonna be using on the windowsills and anything else that really is grimy and dirty is hot water with just a few pumps of dish soap. So put some hot water into a cup, put the dish soap in after the water. The reason is we don't want it to be like foamed and bubbled up too much, and then just swirl it around with your hands, and you can dip your cloth into there and clean things. We're gonna use that for baseboards, doors, all kinds of stuff. It works really, really well. So with that being said, I think it's time to go ahead and tackle our very first window. I'm going to start by dry dusting the blinds with my new tool, and I'll be coming back to the blinds later after I've cleaned the rest of the window. Next, I opened up the blinds and started on the window panes with my microfiber cloths and rubbing alcohol.
You said that you needed me.
I decided not to do the outside of the windows or the screens right now. I figured let's just do this one step at a time, and just cleaning the windows is a big step in the right direction. So now that the window panes and blinds are looking so much better, it's time to move on to the window sill. I'm going to start with my vacuum to get as much dirt and bugs as I can. And I tried to use my hand vacuum on the tracking, but as you can see, it didn't work at all. Then I remembered seeing a plastic tool somewhere, and it turned out to be my crevice tool. Now, it's not the most powerful, but it definitely worked. Next, I'm using the hot water and dish soap solution to get up all of that gross dust and dirt. Remember how nasty it was before, and then look at it now.
I just hope you've been through worse.
The last thing I did was wipe the blinds one more time. First, I tilted them up and wiped them with a clean, damp cloth. And then I tilted them down and did the same thing. And finally, I just left them open to dry in the wind. While I was cleaning this door over here, I noticed that the trim never got painted. We bought our house new, and this is the first time that I ever noticed that the paint wasn't done.
Too much of emotions, sometimes I'm the light, don't wanna pick a fight with it. Everything seems so good, I guess I can't.
Before I did any more cleaning, I decided to do some decluttering. We had been keeping our printer in here, so that needed to go somewhere else. Last month, we actually had 3 printers in here, but we finally got it together and sold 2 of them on Nextdoor. And we also had a bunch of bags in the corner here that did not belong to us, so I decided to put them in the garage for now. And this corner also houses our vacuum, so now I can put the tiny one in the corner and take the larger one somewhere else. I've really been wanting to go through all of our beer and alcohol. The amount we have makes it look like we drink every night, but we actually don't. In fact, that's why it gets built up like this. Sometimes we get an influx with people coming over and leaving their leftovers, or from the subscriptions that we couldn't keep up with, or my least favorite, when there's a little bit left in the bottle and it's so crowded you can't find the open bottle, so you open a new one. Anyway, it was starting to get really cluttered looking on top of the bar and our mini fridges, so I decided to just get everything organized so that we can start using what we have or taking it to a friend's house and get our stock down to something more reasonable. Now, I couldn't get it perfect or all to fit in the fridge, but at least it's nice and tidy now. We can actually see what we have, and there are no more boxes on the floor. Next, we're moving on to this cabinet. Just wait until you see how dusty it is. It is so bad. And if you have a china cabinet or buffet in your dining room, this is the perfect time to clear things off, declutter, and wipe things down. I'm using a fresh solution of hot water and dish soap to wipe down this wooden cabinet. There were a few sticky spots on the black tray, so I sprayed it with my all-purpose cleaner and let it sit for a few minutes.
I don't wanna go out, I just wanna stay at home. Wear my favorite robe tonight, I'm partying alone, yeah.
This whole day has been a really peaceful cleaning day so far. It may seem like I'm cleaning continuously as the video does go on, but I've actually been taking lots of breaks in between to do different things like eat lunch or hang out with my husband and watch a show. And just because I'm doing all of this cleaning in one day does not mean that you have to. Use the list to find different tasks throughout the week that will fit into your schedule. You could do a 5-minute task in the morning, another one when you get home from work, and maybe a 15-minute one before dinner, and so on. And before you know it, you'll have a room all cleaned up. One of the quick and easy tasks is to wipe down the chairs. And if you have upholstered chairs, you may want to vacuum them as well.
Feel like talking, I just wanna hang with me. Dance around the kitchen, then we'll binge on some TV, yeah. I'm so over faking my life on the internet. Wear no makeup or high heels tonight, I can forget, yeah.
The last thing I'm going to do in here is wipe down the baseboards. So I'm getting another fresh solution of hot water and dish soap.
I'm having a house party, not staying up till morning. Sleep, then I watch a movie. I do what I want, yeah, do what I want. 'Cause I'm having a
Now the dining room is all done. If you're hosting Thanksgiving this year, you will have a fresh slate to get ready for your guests. Now to move on to the second room of this video, and that is the living room. There are lots of Halloween decorations in here that need to come back down, but that's not really part of this deep cleaning process. They just need to get out of here, and it's the perfect time to reset between holidays if you do have like decor and stuff like that. So as you can see, or maybe, I don't know if you can tell, but the sun is actually setting behind me. It's only 5:20, and I definitely have been taking my time with this clean here today, but it is November 1st, and it is the first day of daylight savings, or is it daylight savings now, or it was daylight savings? I don't know. Anyway, the time went back an hour, so it is getting dark so much earlier. I don't love it, but this is gonna turn into a bit of an after dark clean with me. We've got kind of the same things to do in here. I think I'm gonna start with the windows while it is still light outside, and because it makes some noise and I don't wanna disturb our neighbors with the windows open. So let's take care of that first, and then we'll get to the rest of the room.
A million people in the crowd, but I only see your face in all the.
All right, take a look at this windowsill. If anything, I think it's worse than the dining room. I think we get a lot more bugs this way because the pond is on this side of our house. Now that I have the process of cleaning windows down, I don't think I'll put it off for so long in the future. With the right tools, it's really not as hard or as time consuming as I thought it would be. And I thought this time lapse was pretty awesome since I was able to catch the 30 or so minutes of sunset. Windows are done and now it is dark outside. They're still open because I'm gonna let them dry before I shut everything down. So now I just need to get to the rest of the living room here. I really think it'll only take me about an hour because there's just not too terribly much to do in here. Something I wish I had done before I did the blinds was the ceiling fan. I have never ever dusted the ceiling fan. So let's go ahead and do that before we vacuum anything else. Actually, back up. I'm gonna put away the decorations so that they don't get a ton of dust on them, then the ceiling fan, then everything else. And it should go pretty quickly, so let's do it. One last thing I forgot to say, all of the cloths that I've been using tonight, and this, look how dusty that is, it's all gonna go in the wash on hot. I'm not gonna do bleach today, although I could do bleach, because I mean, look at all of these cloths. They're really, really dirty. I'm gonna see how they do with, I might do one quick wash just to get all the junk off and then a hot wash to get them really, really clean. And then I'll be able to use them on the next room because you know all the windows in the house are gonna be like that. Okay, now really back to cleaning. I had a bunch of random things to put away, things we've decluttered in the past couple of days, a box that needs broken down, etc. And they always seem to end up at this spot at the top of the stairs. Now, if you notice, these metal napkin rings kept falling out of the bag. It's because the bag had a hole in it and I didn't realize. Here's Toaster's Halloween toy that he totally destroyed. Kent and I talked about throwing it away after Halloween since it wasn't in season anymore, but truthfully it needed to go so that we didn't have stuffing all over our floor anymore. And since Toaster was having a sleepover that night, we didn't need to worry about making him upset by throwing it away. Oftentimes we tag team decorating, so right now I'm taking everything down so that I can clean up, but I'm not putting it away. Instead, I'm sorting all of the decor neatly on the now clear dining room table. I set a few things in a separate pile that I thought it was time to declutter. Then tomorrow, Kent will get out all the boxes and put everything away properly. He'll also make the final decisions on what gets decluttered. Since I'm usually the one that's willing to get rid of more, Kent makes the final decision for us. All right, let's tackle this ceiling fan. Since I don't have an extender pole or anything, I'm climbing up on my step stool again with my Swiffer. I also have a damp cloth to wipe off all the dust as it collects because I just knew it would be a lot.
A minute until midnight. I'm just wondering where you at. Just thought I'd call and wish you good night. I left my key under the mat. I don't get anything done, you're stuck on my mind. I keep on missing your touch, missing your vibe. This feeling might go when I say what we had. Won't you come on over? Don't you miss me too? Give it all you got, babe. Give it all you got, baby.
Now that all the high-level dusting is done, let's do some vacuuming. I like to vacuum and pet roll my couch every single week, but I am not so good about pulling off the cushions. So let's pull them off and see what we can clean up. Okay, so we found lots of dog hair, crumbs, a candy wrapper, and even a few coins, but nothing too exciting. It could really use a vacuum though. I'm really hoping that this works on here as well as it does on the outside of the couch, so let's see. The fur well definitely helps with the dog hair. I have this amazing tool linked in the description box for you. I believe I ended up flipping and rotating the cushions that are around the same size unintentionally, but I think that that's a really great idea to ensure even wear on your couch cushions.
Dear diary, I'm feeling lost again, thinking of way back when. Every night I'd sit down to write, dear diary. No longer an ink affair. My fingers now glide through air. Your pages.
Now I know that this is already sped up, but you might see me start to go at extra lightning speed because I was running out of the time that I had on this night. And I wanted to get at least the side tables and entertainment stand dusted and one little thing decluttered. I knew that the baseboards and the blankets could wait for another day.
The glory up in the cloud, they are saving my story. Paper to data and data to glory, adding the lines to my digital diary. Paper to data and data to glory, up in the cloud, they are saving my story. Paper to data and data to glory, adding the lines to my digital diary. Dear diary.
Besides ignoring the dirty windows, avoiding dusting is another one of my specialties. Recently, I've started getting better about it here in the living room, and it actually doesn't take as long as I've built up in my head. The last thing I'm going to do for the night is tackle some dust that has built up under our entertainment stand. As you can see, the vacuum only reaches so far and just makes a straight line of dust. So I'm going to use a damp cloth to pull all of that dust and dog hair forward, and it was so gross. If you enjoyed this video, make sure to check out my previous one in this deep cleaning series in the kitchen, and stay tuned for this Sunday at 10 a.m. for the next room of the house. Let's get our house super clean, decluttered, and prepped for Thanksgiving. Thanks so much for watching, and I will see you again soon.